I know my destiny. 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 I know my destiny.
Especially love the entries for both the teams. Now they seem quite ready, but at the same time, the pressure, you can clearly see that surmounting on their faces, Crips.
I always love Paradox entries. This one was a little bland compared to the rest of the ones he did in the split before, but I guess he wants to start the playoff in a very humble way. I'm pretty sure that he will make up for it with the style that he displays in the server itself. Now, True Rippers and Revenant Esports, on paper, both these teams have their strengths and weaknesses, right? True Rippers are a very unique team, especially when it comes to pistol and eco rounds. Revenant, let's just say they hit you with a sledgehammer. That's the kind of team that they are. And they've had quite a lot of changes throughout the split as well. I mean, in Split 1, when True Rippers started off, they were one of the strongest teams on Pearl, and then they started to just insta-ban Pearl and pick Lotus instead. Now, I wonder if Revenant is ready for it. Revenant have played Lotus in the past, and they weren't super bad on it. They were quite stable, but of course they weren't able to win all that much. On the other hand, Revenant don't need to win Lotus because they have Bind as one of their core strengths. Now, the thing that I want to see is whether these teams ban each other's stronger maps or whether they go for their own comfort bans.
I mean, once again, you need to take another thing under consideration is that in the league stage itself, Revenant went through a group that was filled with monsters, absolute monsters. Group A, you've got teams like OG coming in, Reckoning Esports coming in. Every single team in that group was monstrous. On the other hand, True Rippers, I mean, a lot of people would agree with me, but Group B was a little bit lightweight, you know? That's why True Rippers, they had quite a phenomenal journey for themselves. So one thing is for sure, that Revenant, they have went through a lot of thick and thin, so there's a chance they have been forced for the toughest battle inside the battlefield. As we do move on forward towards the map veto, the first two bands are in front of you, but the first pick is going to be Bind, which is their strong suit. Revenant Esports, as always, they're going to stick to Bind, but then you go and move on forward, and you take a look at Lotus from True Rippers. It's quite an interesting pick. I want to see them perform on this one.
Yep, I'm actually pretty sure the True Rippers can give a lot of new stuff to us on Lotus. They've always been very unique on this one. The way they spread out on Lotus is also quite phenomenal. On Bind, on the other hand, Revenant Esports, they've always been dominant, so I wonder if True Rippers can figure out what to do. I mean, it's not difficult to read Revenant on Bind, but even with the read, it's very difficult to stop them. Although one thing I think that could have been a little different over here is that Revenant could have gone for some other map ban rather than banning out Pearl. It's a map that True Rippers also are not comfortable on anymore, so even if they let it stay afloat, I think True Rippers wouldn't play it regardless. That could have been a risk that they took, but I think it's fine. The current map pool, I'm actually very happy with this one.
Exactly. Move on forward towards the agent select of the map of Bind. I don't expect any sort of change, especially from Revenant, because it's their map pick. But yeah, speaking about Bind, and you said how unpredictable sometimes Revenant Esports can really be. And I think so the biggest factor in that is the aggression that they show. Aggression also adds on a lot of unpredictability, which can work in your favor, but also can work against you sometimes. So let's see if True Rippers are able to put on a little bit of leash against Revenant Esports, if they're able to install some breaks in their strategy or not, because that's all that's going to come down. If you're able to read on what exactly Revenant Esports is trying to pull off in the initial stages, and if you're able to stop that initial hit in that round, it's going to mean quite a lot. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Soon enough, we're going to move on towards the map of Bind, where we'll kick things off with a pistol round.
We indeed will, and Revenant Esports look to start this off with flying colors. The lack of a sentinel in their team kind of tells you all you need to know about Revenant. They never like putting on the brakes. So RU will have to be that guy who slows them to a crawl, and his setups will have to be very, very diverse. Given the man that Paradox is, he will literally just satchel over his utility, so that's one person you can't hope to stop with the tripwires. But the rest of them, yeah, you can probably try to cut him off from the backup.
Ooh, good flash. Start things off with. They probably have got some sort of info that there is a man in close quarters. Argu needs to hit his shots, and he exactly does so. There's a lurk coming in soon enough for the bathrooms area as well, but it's not going to matter as Josh is going to clear things out. Kaizen instantly goes for a TP with his teammate. It's a 3-on-2 scenario. 3-on-3 actually. For Revenant Esports so far, they've also got the stroll on the site. They've got the site control, but look at this. This is exactly what we mean when we talk about aggression. They're rotating all the way from the spawn towards the opposite side, which is the B site, and now True Rippers, they're going to have no chance of countering this one.
I've said this before in different matches of Revenant Esports, and I will say it again. This whole round feels like a game of chase. As soon as True Rippers jumped into the TP towards the bot area, Revenant made a high tail towards the B side, and now that they jump into the hookah once again, Revenant will have to somehow hold on. You can see the flank that Josh is trying to put on, trying to backstab the backstabbers, and he has to play on timing now because his teammates are in imminent danger. He hears the first man drop. Instant death onto Disrupt. He could have predicted one more person coming in from CT as well, and that's their undoing.
What?
No way they can survive Josh S.
Oh, this man just makes it look so clean with the frenzy. Even though in long ranges, it does not work out that well, but still the strafing and the burst perfectly utilized. Josh is playing to his strengths and flanking the flankers itself. Nicely done by Revenant Esports, just amping up the aggression right off the bat.
Instant aggression, you know. Revenant Esports knew that in some way, shape or form, True Rippers will also try to have a very fast pistol round. They've always done that in the past as well. And as soon as they heard the teleport towards bot, they knew that they can't continue towards the A side anymore. Especially with Paradox dying on his satchel, they knew that the A side is no scene. Instant pivot towards the B side. And even then the aggression didn't stop. The reverse flank, it's beautiful. This time though, Revenant Esports are making no secrets about their approach towards the B side, and because of this, True Rippers also have arrived on scene. The rotations are here. Is that going to be enough to stop Paradox? Apparently not. He will overwhelm all of them.
I mean, considering the opponents don't really have the superior weaponry, only got pistols. So yeah, makes sense that they're just getting mowed down like that, but still at least Paradox with the casualty over there. Vim trying to lure someone towards his area by giving those false sense. And now you've got Disrupt holding the close quarters with the shorty. No one's going to push up forward from Revenant Esports. All that matters to them is to get that site control in the hand. But now finally the push comes in through as Blackhawk and his teammates are going to push in. With the help of Ching, they get the frag done. One more to go in the name of Disrupt, and he's trying his best to hide. Just facing towards the wall, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah, Brimstone has some broad shoulders. Some people find that attractive. Sometimes it gets you killed.
Interesting one there, though. But now finally, as True Rippers, they're going to get their hands on the better weaponry here. Vandals and Phantoms on the board for them. Let's see how they're going to be able to stop the aggression so far. Revenant Esports is able to bring on the table.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Did he lose it?
You can always recover. You have to wait a little. So that kind of slows down Revenant Esports, you know. Probably the only thing that can slow Revenant down themselves. And never mind, Ching will not get to do anything at all. Wimp comes in, instantly executes him. I also like this Viper wall that Wimp has put up over here. It kind of enables them to crunch bot every now and then. And now poor Ace, he's kind of stuck over here. He's getting pushed on from both the sides. Paradox also aggressed in, but his backup has been cut off, so he's kind of on his lonesome.
Yeah. Look at Techno, just trapped inside the teleporter. Can't even move out. Can't do a lot there. Blackhawk going for the plant. It's a 2-on-3 scenario. True Rippers clearly in a massive disadvantage as they know Techno is on the other side. Trying to get the bathroom control in the hand. Disruptive got this man, was able to deliver on a lot more consistency inside the team of True Rippers. Let's see if this time is able to put on some numbers. These guns are going to matter quite a lot for True Rippers, and they especially need to make something happen with them. The trade is there successfully. But once again, considering Disrupt is the only man left alive, the timing could have worked against him there. A little bit too close to comfort. And Disrupt moving inches by inches towards the spike. Gets the tap down, trying to force out the opponents. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case. Paradox now holding the aggressive angle, and he will get Disrupt down.
No matter what setup do True Rippers put on the A side, it's impossible to stop Revenant. I mean, for a second I thought that they will successfully pull off the crunch towards bot. They even got the kill on right to Ace over there, but Paradox, he's so good on this A side. He's liberating the entire forces over here by himself. I mean, if it wasn't for him, then this execute from Revenant would have stopped in its tracks before it even had the chance to get off the starting blocks. I like the crunch also from them. I mean, this Viper wall that's been put up by Wimp, it makes the camera that RU has so much more difficult to detect. Oh. But Paradox is just untamable, unstoppable. Understandably so, because True Rippers don't have the weaponry this round, so these kills might not seem as impressive as they really are. But if Revenant get to 4-0, then problems start to emerge.
Oh my... I thought Paradox was going to be able to escape that one, but eventually gets caught. Techno at least able to stop that player right then and there in his tracks. This round has been a little slow compared to the 3 rounds so far that we've witnessed. But eventually, it's going to burst out into a complete ball of aggression, and that's what exactly is happening. True Rippers, one of the players taken down way too low for comfort. Finally, the spike goes down as well. Not a lot of time left over. As you've got True Rippers as well now, finally trying to make it to the opponents. The Bucky's gonna work out in their favor in the close quarters, but Ching strikes as well. With only 2 HP left over, he also gets the 3rd one, which seems quite unreal. But eventually, Revenant Esports, they win it.
It's quite a unique planting position from them as well, you know. It's planted for Bath, but with so much control available for Revenant Esports towards the lamps area, they have a plethora of post-plant positions. Options galore for them, so this makes it nearly impossible for True Rippers to come in. And in these 4 rounds, True Rippers have on multiple occasions attempted the Bath crunch via the teleporters. And since that doesn't seem to be working, they tried coming in via the regular CT walkway now, which also failed. A part of the reason why Revenant planted over there was to just make sure that they have supreme control over Bath and True Rippers can't do anything. But now, with Blackhawk getting the opening kill and Paradox blowing all you to smithereens, this round is in the bag already, pretty much. Techno narrowly escapes the orbital strike, but he can't escape. There's 1,000 people firing at him.
What is going on inside this game? The action is just swinging out of control. And now you've got Wimp, the last man alive, trying to spring back in the action, which is going to be quite a tough one for him. He's got the player approaching him. A couple of shots taken, finally shut down as well. Wimp not going to be able to find a lot in that situation. Revenant Esports, another round in their favor. I mean, Argue was saying the scoreline was going to be 2-0. Oh, man, but maybe in the opponent's favor, I guess. So far, the game's going completely one-sided.
Yeah, and that's partially because True Rippers have been doing this bath crunch quite often. We've seen it happen in every single round now. All 5 rounds. And it is quite weird, you know, because usually the crunch involves 2 people coming in via bath and the rest of them coming in via teleporters. But this time, Blackhawk and Paradox already got the opening kills towards bath. And when Techno jumped in, without the backup of his teammates who are pushing in from the front lines, it was kind of a death sentence for him. He was destined to fail that one. Especially with the orbital strike available, that just makes things so much more harder than it is supposed to be already.
This tactical timeout definitely should be something that would give some sort of sense to True Rippers on what exactly to do against Revenant Esports. Considering Revenant is an aggressive team and on the attackers you need to be sort of aggressive, it just adds on a little bit of plus point for Revenant Esports. But True Rippers, they need to be a quick one to understand what exactly the opponents are trying to execute here.
Yeah, I mean, True Rippers are kind of attempting that retake thing before the spike even gets planted. You know, they try to crunch Revenant Esports while they are trying to go for the plant, but it's just not working out. So I guess one thing that they could use...
And what exactly the opponents are trying to execute here.
Yeah, I mean, True Rippers are kind of attempting that retake thing before the spike even gets planted. You know, they try to crunch Revenant Esports while they are trying to go for the plant, but it's just not working out. So I guess one thing that they could use against Revenant is something that OG did. Use the utility to just deny the plant for as long as possible and make sure Revenant can't get into post-plant positions in time. That's one way OG was able to make the comeback against Revenant Esports. True Rippers can try something similar.
Toxin screen down.
For now, it's just a waiting game. It's all going to come down to this first contact. Player spotted. Josh's nose. There's a Viper in the close quarters. Disrupt down his teammate. This is what I was exactly about to say. If you want to make sure that Revenant's being taken down, you got to push up right on their faces, and this time it works out. If you're going to have at least some sort of map cover or map control in the hand, you will know that very exactly the hit's going to come through, and that's when you will be able to at least capitalize and take down the opponent soon enough. But this time you've got Josh's as well, just closing out the deals against the enemies, taking care of business all by himself, and Wimp was able to find one. But still, Revenant Esports, they've got the better weaponry. The chances of them winning this round are quite high, but they haven't got the spike plant just yet. And this might just add onto the problems a little bit more. Sheriff comes in, a little bit too close for comfort, but eventually shuts him down as well. Paradox with a 3K, looking to turn the favor, looking to turn the tide in his team's favor.
Jesus, what is this guy? Paradox single-handedly rescues his team from sudden devastation. My god, that's a stylish one. Disrupt didn't even see his shoulder before he got his head popped. What a recovery from Revenant Esports. I love the way how True Rippers approached this round, you know? They stopped doing that bath crunch which wasn't working for them. They acquired the gun by pushing out a B long. And then they kept the gun alive by making sure that the rest of the members also push alongside it. Wimp got a nice kill, fell back as well before he got traded out. So up until that point, everything was going so well for True Rippers. The orbital strike along with the Seekers committed also made Revenant get into these very awkward spots. And up until then, it was all going well, but then comes Paradox, and he's gonna be the monkey wrench that will lay waste to your plans.
Smoke's down.
Smokes out once again. But look at this aggressive push that they're trying to make. Disrupt, he gets a lot of information with that teleporter. He knows there's no one outside bathrooms, so it is going to be a complete take on the B site as the first man gets spotted, and he will be able to shut him down instantly. Are you at least able to find first one? But gets denied with the second. Revenant Esports, they bounce back with 2 of their own, and now they're also able to spring back to life as they get the entire site control in hand.
And that's what I always say about Revenant Esports. That push out from Disrupt got True Rippers all the information they needed. It was a confirmed B hit. RU setup was actually quite nice. He started to get kills with the tripfires, and both the strips got someone entangled. Taking off the hat, further confirmed the presence of Revenant all towards the B side. But despite knowing that they are coming, despite seeing this execute from a mile away, True Rippers cannot hope to stop them at all.
Yeah. It's like a wave of water just flooding on the site. It's tough to stop them in time. And that's what exactly happened. True Rippers, oh no, they're getting hunted down. Last two players. And both of them are holding their own angles. We've got Ching as well on the prowl, on the hunt. And if he's able to find out at least one player over here, this can be a massive value for them. And probably right here, no. Couple of seconds shy, but at least they were able to get the saves off so far. So True Rippers, they were able to successfully save 2 weapons right there. But the problem is still they're struggling massively when it comes to the economical side of things.
Yeah. They are struggling quite a lot. I mean, they can save the weapons, but can they save this game? Paradox is sitting at 12 frags right now. That is just nuts. He's died only 3 times. That's a KD of 4. I don't think I've seen such a high KD ever before. Hazen, a bit too aggressive. Disrupt can't help him out. Now he's just hoping to buy some time with the mollies, but Revenant just rushed right through it.
What?
They put down that booster. They put down the what is that? Yeah, the stim beacon, and they just rushed right through the molly. Jesus.
It was a drive-by. They didn't even stop moving. Just kept running towards the site.
That's the Tupac treatment.
This is, you think about it and you wonder, how does it even work out? This team is pressing W inside a tournament, inside an official Riot tournament where it matters so much. There's so much on the stake, but they're still able to pull off strats like that, and then you wonder, what exactly is going wrong with the opponents? And as I said, Crips, I picked up this point as well. As I said, from Group A, Revenant Esports just came through. And they have been through quite a lot of thick and thins, and now they've been forced to success.
Yeah, forged by the fires of the group of death. Here comes Paradox with the Armageddon. Throws in that rocket, and surprisingly it doesn't get anyone. But this Viper Spit will make things very off for True Rippers. It covers just a little bit of the planting region and the entirety of halls. So now Revenant have all the area they need to get that plant down safely, and Josh has the elevation too. He's got RU cornered over there. RU needs someone to help him out, and there is no backup coming. The only thing coming from him is the Grim Reaper, and Josh continues to fire off on all cylinders.
No, there's no way. There's no way. I just can't believe what's happening in front of my eyes right now. It's so hard to believe what's happening. This is a massacre.
Absolutely. I think a massacre doesn't do justice to the amount of violence we are seeing over here. I kind of want to shamelessly plug Planet Superheroes over here, but this is like a bunch of superheroes fighting against us mortal human beings. That's what Revenant feels like right now. Their capes flying high. Probably laser vision as well.
Hey, don't forget Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, I mean, True Rippers kind of need some sort of kryptonite over here, but where will they find it?
I guess we've got miles ahead. At least that's what it seems like. I mean, 9-0 is the scoreline. There's no way. I mean, the recovery, maybe right now, right here, if they're able to get 3 rounds back-to-back, and if you're able to have a 9-3 scoreline, then maybe you will have some sort of a chance of pulling this one out. But still, the chances of that are quite slim. But let's see what Revenant Esports they've got in stack for us, and let's see what True Rippers they've got in stack for us. The judges there in the close quarters, but it's in a complete wrong direction. So Revenant, they're going to have a free stroll and a completely free site for themselves. Kazen's judge is also given away, so now they know no need to push in the close quarters because Kazen's got a judge to strike you down. They'll probably try to play this one safe and sound. 2 found easily done. Ching finding the timing all the time in his opponents, and then Revenant Esports once again. It's the Chen effect. One player falls down, the rest will follow up.
There's no hope. No semblance of a comeback possible for True Rippers. At least it doesn't seem like it now. I love how Revenant Esports just avoid all the danger. Okay, never mind, hold on. There is still some hope. Disrupt is getting quite a lot of shots off, but there's very little time left.
One enemy remaining.
So he can probably take some weapons away from Revenant Esports, but what even is the point of that now? Revenant have so much money. They're sitting on max credits. Even taking weapons away from them doesn't really help your cause. But, okay, one thing. that I was really impressed by in this round is how Revenant just said nope when they approached the B side. They put in plenty of utility, right? And it's not like Revenant have too many agents that can gather information. They only have the Sky, which can tell you where people are in the general vicinity, but doesn't tell you how many. And somehow they figured out that True Rippers have gone for a B stack. They don't even get inside, right? They don't even spot a lot of True Rippers players, but they just have this instinct. And they just jump into the TPs, go for bot, get the A side for free.
That's what you call Revenant Esports. Somehow to always get the stars connected. But this time, at least they use the ultimate to try and stop them in their tracks. As I said, if they're able to install the brakes, it's all going to matter. The initial hit is what matters. If you're able to counter that initial hit, Revenant Esports will start falling on top of their faces, and that's what exactly is happening. At least it seems like it. Then you have men like Blackhawk, who swings back into action and gets 2 of his own. And now it's a 2-on-3 scenario, definitely pullable. Also gets the regrowth back, so that means he's going to be able to get back to full HP, but he doesn't have armor anymore.
Molly towards CT, just to make sure nobody can push them. And True Rippers deliberately did not go for the teleport play. They wanted to make sure that Revenant indeed are committing towards the B side before they make any of these preemptive moves. But look at right to Ace. What a ballsy push out. Somewhat unnecessary, but he had to make that move to neutralize the numbers.
No way!
And Blackhawk doesn't just neutralize them, he will destroy them.
Oh
that is
God.
until Disrupt says no. Finally makes a stand, putting a round on the board for True Rippers after what seems like ages.
My heart was beating so fast there. I thought there was a chance where Blackhawk's able to clutch it out, especially after he got the first kill in the hand. So that was quite incredible. But this is what I was exactly talking about when I talked about Blackhawk. When the team starts falling apart, you've got a man like Blackhawk to be taken down as well, who likes to play in the back lines of the team. But the amount of impact this guy can have, if needed, it's just massive. So far, the scoreline is 10-1. And one more round to go, Crips. What do you think, 11-1 or 10-2?
I really think this can be an 11-1. Unless True Rippers have something very unique. But they're not engaging at all. I mean, the one round in which they found some semblance of success was when they pushed out of B long aggressively, but this time none of that is happening. The Boombot detects where the Cypher is, so Paradox goes for the hunt and he gets what he wanted. But there's a double TP, and that's what kills him. But this gives them enough information, right? Now that Revenant are already into the site, they can just put the smokes down over there and keep True Rippers at bay. They can't stop the plant.
Yeah. Revenant Esports, for them, all that matters is the site control. And then everything's going to be coming down to that post plan, for the position matters a lot. And so far, Revenant Esports have been playing the positions right. And then you've got a man like Josh's just hitting shots like that. Right to Ace's wall, gets taken care of in that side, but it's not going to matter, man. It's Revenant Esports who are going to keep the pedal to the metal and keep the action swinging in their favor. 11-1 is the scoreline in the first half, ladies and gentlemen. Where Revenant Esports, they've got an incredible lead set up against True Rippers, which seems next to impossible to catch up to.
Exactly. I don't think we've seen such a devastating scoreline in a very long time. How will they ever come back from this one? The lack of a person coming in from defender spawn also kind of makes it difficult to break that crossfire. And it wasn't much of a crossfire in the first place. It's just Josh and Ching just sitting over there shooting people down. It's so nuts. And this is how the cookie crumbles. We'll see whether they can come back in the next half or not.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple wins, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want a game.
The all-new OMEN 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The OMEN 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20N line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into the second half of the first game. And so far, the scoreline's 11-1, heavily favoring Revenant Esports. And now, as they have been forced on the defending side, let's see if True Rippers is able to at least establish something inside the first game. Because even if they're not able to win this one, but if they're able to take it close enough, it can prove out to be huge for their mental.
I'm starting to get nervous, Necro. There's 4 people from True Rippers heading towards a 4-stack from Revenant. And I'm just really not on par with this one. The number of people peeking out is just insane. Ice catches them reloading. How often do you see that in a pro game? That's just bonkers. Wimp finally goes in, hoping to collect the spike again, but the Trailblazer's already seen where he is. I guess the only element of surprise now is Ryu's presence. And even he's very hesitant to head out towards the A side and go for a very long flank. He's debating whether he should try and make that flank work or whether he should just stick with Wimp and back him up.
I mean, it makes sense when things are falling apart on your side. Right off the bat, this early off inside the round, you're going to start to second-guess your decision, and Ching, he gets that dink onto the opponent. How is he even able to land shots like that? Didn't even see him on my screen clearly enough, and Ching was able to get the dink onto him. But now it's a 3-on-2 scenario, clearly heavily favoring the side of Revenant Esports. And so far, right to Ace as well, positioning himself in the close quarters. Could have also taken him down as well, but are you able to connect those incredible shots? And maybe might just be able to pull things off into his favor.
10 seconds left.
Paradox has all the utility he needs. And more HP than both of them combined. This is definitely one of those rounds which can be pulled off. One win condition over here is that Whip goes on for a massive flank all the way from hookah, which Paradox hopefully wouldn't expect. But they're going all the way around him. And he's sticking this one. They're miles away from even peeking him. Are you serious? Does this really happen? I can't believe what I'm watching over here. Paradox sticks it all the way through. They don't even question. They don't even check his presence. And I can understand the play that True Rippers are trying to make over there. Paradox would have never seen them coming from CT behind him, nor would he have expected someone to come in from hookah, but not even a single jump peek? This is just the most heartbreaking way to lose. Pressure? I don't know if this is pressure anymore. This is just nerves. And yeah, of course, a lot of pressure as well. Revenant Esports are speedrunning this game.
Oh man, this just makes you wonder what went wrong. True Rippers, a team that has been able to rip apart so many opponents, and then it just crumbling down, falling apart on the map pick of Revenant like this. See, I mean, there's still one more round left over. The chances of them pulling off anything at this point are next to none, but you can never give up onto that. You never know. Maybe Techno's able to pull off an 11 HP clutch. Oh, way too close, way too close. He could have died to his own teammates, Swiper Spit. But now you've got Ching and the clotheslines just stinging his opponents down. Techno, the last man up and alive with only 3 HP left over. And look at what he's trying to pull here. Trying to set up into some sort of off angles, but Paradox knows what exactly is happening. He's waiting for his prey, and he strikes him down. Revenant Esports, a flawless victory against their opponents. Nicely done, just dominating the entire way through on their own map pick. Even if you say that it was Revenant map pick, and that's why maybe True Rippers fell apart, but still, you can't deny the scoreline that was in front of you.
Jesus, and you can see the indications from Paradox and Ching over there. Paradox has a stopwatch. He's measuring how much time it takes them to beat their opponents, literally trying to set a speedrun record over here. Meanwhile, Ching, he's just issuing signals which kind of indicate that they just swallowed them whole, just bit into them and spit them out. That's a devastating scoreline. What a match from Revenant Esports. We'll break down this game in detail on the other side of this break.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Feeling under pressure.
then we might just have a third map on our hands. And I'm quite excited for the third map, you know, because it's split.
And at one point, Disrupt showed us how to play Gecko on this very map. So I kind of want to see Gecko again. I don't think we'll get to see it on Lotus, but I definitely think True Rippers have a chance of mounting a comeback over here after that devastating loss on Bind.
I mean, that was a straight up diff. That's all I can say. But for now, as we do move on forward towards the agent select, you're going to have the players, the True Rippers. At least they're having smiles on their faces, so that means the previous loss didn't really affect them a lot. So they're probably going to be having some clear heads moving on forward in the upcoming maps. And the smiles are there. Hopefully they're able to deliver in game as well. But Kazan, on the other hand, though, this man's got the game face on.
I think that's more of a poker face. I guess that is the kind of expression one would have after they face a loss like that on Bind.
Yeah.
But I hope they can mount a comeback over here. The lineup that True Rippers have definitely makes them a very solid execute-heavy team, which is somewhat along the lines of what Revenant have gone for as well. I would have probably expected the breach to not be there from True Rippers, but I'm glad that they pick it up. So now we will have a very fair fight with these middle lineups.
Let's see who's able to use their
No charges.
own lineup in general, or the agent select better enough inside this matchup. As we have True Rippers starting things off in the attack, and Revenant this time on the defense. We aren't seeing any aggressive moves from the side of Revenant, but we are seeing some quick rotations as the C-side hit is confirmed that there's no one coming on the C-side. You can see Paradox on the aggressive angle, just collecting that info over and over again. It is a B-side hit where Josh is able to find the entry right off the bat. Kazan gets taken care of. And True Rippers, they've got no other choice than to fall back.
I like the position that Paradox has now. It's more like a one-and-done position, but I don't think anyone will check him if True Rippers decide to go there anyway. Jing, on the other hand, just jump-spotting people. He will act like the early warning system, and Revenant have been pretty quick on the rotates. At least in the fight that we've seen so far, they were able to get there on time. And now look at this. They want to go for a crunch. They're waiting to let Right to Ace kick the door down in case True Rippers try to go for a hit towards the B side once again. And that's exactly why Revenant didn't commit towards the A side instead. They knew that True Rippers will try to go for a nice curveball towards the end. But Ching, blind as a bat.
Oh my God!
Luckily there is backup available. Blackhawk comes in to save him just in time. But Wimp is winning his fights. And True Rippers might just have this round yet.
Yeah, they might just, but still a little too close to comfort. It's a 2-on-3 scenario. Man advantage in the hands of True Rippers, but that doesn't mean True Rippers should try and push, and it'll get a little too ahead of themselves. Able to connect to shots through the smoke. Are you able to find one? A massive one. And this should give them a little bit more semblance of security. As Revenant, they've got the last man up and alive. Ching, with only 26 HP, doesn't really have a lot to back up on, but still able to find one. But that's all he's going to get as Aryu denies the final man. And True Rippers able to start things off on a great note, at least on this map.
I kind of feel sad for Right to Ace over there. His position over towards the B-Link area, especially with the door still intact, kind of tells you that he's playing that one-and-done spot only to reinforce the B side and maybe kick the door down if there is an A hit. But he kind of saw it coming, you know? He missed the timing on the fault line, which would have been perfect, by the way, if he was able to connect it. And he saw that True Rippers would break the door and try to go towards the B side. They wouldn't commit towards A, and Revenant knew it. And they even made rotations accordingly. But still, True Rippers a step ahead this time. Starting off on the right note, winning the pistol. This definitely makes it a little more promising.
Josh, right off the bat, amping up the aggression, wanting to get up close and personal against the enemies. Trailblazers going to be utilized. Josh has get spotted, uses the flashes to make a great escape, but is he going to be able to? He will be able to fall back safely, but he's still wanting to challenge the fights against the opponents. Of course, they don't really have the superior weaponry inside this fight, but they can try to make something out of nothing. Ching spots out one of the players in the close lines, and now he knows it's a complete A hit coming soon, as Wimp will get the site control in the hand and the rest of the team will flood through. Wimp in the close line will get destroyed, but an instant trade will back it up, and Kazan gets another one. A 3K for this man.
Kazan stands strong, steadfast in his approach as he holds this area down with an iron grip.
Sorry, man.
That's a nice cleanup for him. Arming up 4 kills, getting closer to his showstopper. That's going to be super useful for True Rippers later on.
But I like how True Rippers were very, very passive in this round. They took their sweet time trying to hit the C site. As soon as they figured out that there's a bunch of utility dump present from Revenant over there, they were not at all hesitant in backing off. Hit the A site well enough, and that's also because Wimp was kind of lurking for his team. While the rest of them were towards the attacking spawn, Wimp was already pushing the limits on the A site. As soon as the smoke came through, he just decided to rush it, send it in. And that's how True Rippers are able to get 2 rounds in a row. But now the real acid test begins. Revenant, with all the weaponry that they need, want to stop True Rippers in their tracks before they get too much momentum.
Techno definitely got a lot of clearance with that Trailblazer. But he doesn't exactly know what's inside the site. On the other side, Wimp, a good way to open the fray up, and that's also in the name of Blackhawks. So now the opponents don't even have a controller to get the site control back in their hands. This is a massive one, a huge opening for True Rippers to rely back on. If they get the site control, the retake is next to impossible.
Exactly. I was just going to say that retaking will be very difficult for Revenant Esports, and now they've got like just one choice.
Right there.
Hold the area down. Don't even let them plant. I'm kind of skeptical about how Right to Ace is playing in this position. One advantage that Right to Ace position has over here is that he can back up his teammates anywhere, both on the A and the B side. So that's amazing. A well-timed fault line could really stop them in their tracks over here. Paradox doing well for himself. The satchel to help him reposition, and he peeks back again. But the pinstripe of trades kind of keeps it in the favor of True Rippers. At the same time, while they're planting on the A side, look at the positioning the Wimp has. He's going to be the insurance policy in case something goes wrong. But I don't think Red 2A sees him coming. And he's already so low on HP, he might as well just try to go for a save. Yeah, he's been spotted. I don't think they will let him save, though.
Yeah. But still, Right to Ace is going for anything he can get his hands upon. And he was able to find out Disrupt as well. That's impressive. But Techno in the end will sweep one under the rug. As True Rippers, they get another round flowing in their sleeves. Nicely done. 3-0. A good start. A dominating start indeed in their hands so far. Able to take the aggression against the opponents and also was able to shut down Blackhawk right off the bat. That was something that pretty much, that's where they got the round in the hand.
That aggression from Revenant Esports hasn't really been felt yet. Don't mistake this for the fact that Revenant Esports aren't playing aggressively. They do push out every now and then. At least they have rubble control firmly every single time at the start of the round. Now, it's a different story that Blackhawk gets decapitated by Wimp in a very ugly fashion, but Revenant Esports are still not willing to give up rubble control, which is something that a defending team should do almost all the time. But True Rippers also just give up this area. They're comfortable letting it go. And they know that Revenant have an eco, so they will either push out or have a stack. So True Rippers are avoiding walking into a trap of sorts.
And Wimp wants to play this one quite safe. It is completely fine for him to take that control. As True Rippers, they make their stroll onto the C site. They've got the site control easily and freely in the hands, but Chink is on the other side of the smoke, just waiting for him to flow through. Another flash comes in, and Chinks gets shut down this time. He's got no visual on the opponents or the surrounding area whatsoever. The flashes are placed perfectly. Paradox able to strike one down, but that's all he's going to get. True Rippers, another round flowing in their hands. A nicely done 4-0, a dominating start on the Lotus. Definitely was not a start that I expected from True Rippers on this map. But it's still the starting few initial stage of the map, so you can't really say a lot just after those first 4 rounds. And it's going to be a tactical timeout from Revenant Esports. They desperately need this one too. They did have losers bonus stacking up, and now they've also got the better weaponry in the hands. Vandals and Phantoms on the board. And they've also got a showstopper ready. If it is a complete massive push out from True Rippers, the showstopper can definitely stop them in the tracks. But on the other hand, Disrupt's got his hands on the Rolling Thunder, which they can utilize to get the site control in the hand.
Now, because we have some time to discuss this, what are the odds that True Rippers 11-1 or
0 Revenant over here? What are the chances that they give them the exact same treatment they received on Bind? Okay, I guess the silence tells me all I need to know. I don't think you believe in that prophecy. Maybe Revenant will show us exactly what they're made of in this round, right? If they fail over here as well, then maybe we can start sinking the possibilities of a 11-1 coming true again.
Oh, yeah.
This time in the favor of True Rippers. But Revenant, they've been quite dynamic on their Killjoy setup, you know? Every now and then, Ching was placing his alarm bot towards the mouth of B side, but he would sometimes place the turret on A. Now he's placing it on C, so he's changing that up. And True Rippers always play very passively at the start. They know that Revenant are aggro, so they like holding their defaults. And so far, these defaults are actually kind of working out for them, you know? They always are able to get that opening pick, always get the 4v5 advantage. Somehow make sure that the follow-up aggression from Revenant Esports also doesn't give them too much momentum. Making plenty of noise towards B.
No, I was about to say, considering this map is an attacking-sided map, so we expect True Rippers to have an early-on lead against Revenant Esports. For Revenant Esports, being on the defending side, all they need to do is just win as many rounds as possible. If we're able to squeeze out the more rounds, the better. But on the attacking side, imagine the aggression of Revenant mixed up with a map that is heavily favored with the attackers. Oh man, that seems like a date with destiny. Before now, as the Rolling Thunders utilized True Rippers, they're going to have a free flow onto site once again. C-site taken in their hands. Kaizen will also get rid of the turret. True Rippers, a deep site control they've got in their hands.
Exactly. As soon as the Seekers were popped, they realized that only one of them went towards the C-site, so they sent in the rest of the ultimates as well, hoping to overwhelm that single guy and get this site for sure. But now, Paradox will have to show up. His showstopper is the only thing that can make a difference. No other utility available that will help them break through this massive crossfire that True Rippers have set up. Kaizen doesn't even want to participate in the crossfire. He just wants to stay ahead of his teammates. The showstopper doesn't get much done, but at least it allows them to have a foot in this site. Forget having a foot. These guys are taking the heads off. Disrupt through the smoke. That's a massive spray down, and this will turn the tides. But he's so paranoid about getting crushed from both sides. He tries to pre-fire, doesn't get it done properly. Whip's nanoswarms have been used up. He has to connect the shots onto Blackhawk now. He's not able to do it, and he just makes it away. Oh my goodness.
That was so lucky. Oh my god, True Rippers, they know they barely won that round. Completely behalf of that luck. And that timing working out in their favor. Whip was not able to find the spot at all. He was not able to shut down the man who was going for the defuse. And Blackhawk almost could have done it, man. All he needed was a couple of milliseconds more, and that could have been it. But now as Revenant Esports, they've got their hands on the lockdown, and also from the shadows. Lockdown can lock down a site completely and make sure that the opponents are not going to be able to breach through. But let's see if they're going to try to utilize that inside the Sheriff round, inside the Eco round. If they're able to find some early value, then maybe they probably will.
That was indeed too close, but Revenant can't keep having these close encounters. Stack on the B side. Aggro players from aggro position from Blackhawk towards C Mound doesn't get them anything. And now they start to question their decision. That's exactly why Ching is going back towards the A side, but he won't be able to stop the side push over here by himself. He doesn't have any utility placed. Yeah, he just tried to throw in. Never mind. There really is nothing he can do, and this nade will probably be the death of him. So he swings out, hoping to take one down before he bites the dust.
And Lucko. Josh as well. Positioned in an interesting angle, not pushing out just yet. Playing this one safe and sound. True Rippers, they know. Considering the opponents don't really have the suitable amount of weaponry, for True Rippers, this should be an easy one to take in their hands. Before Revenant Esports, the loser's bonus is going to start to build up. This is where they'll probably be able to buy some guns in their hands. Paradox able to shut down Techno. Good trade. Paradox able to get 2. He's good for 2. As Revenant now, they've got only 2 players standing for themselves, but you've got a man like Josh hitting his shots as well. But eventually, Disrupt will clean things off.
True Rippers continue their winning streak. Revenant Esports once again bring it super close. But this time, the decider, or the bullets, not the time. Ended by intention. True Rippers are going very strong so far. Yes, the retakes are a little shaky, but so far, they are somewhat keeping it in the bag. Revenant tried to sneak that hand into the bag and try to yoink around away, but they are just left with narrow margins. But now that Revenant have 4 massive ultimates, maybe things will change. They're not playing aggro this time. Instead, they just try to make their mark in towards the A lobby area, but are instantly sent back by the fault line the True Rippers are using.
True Rippers
Turret destroyed.
once again go for the similar strategy that they tried to do in the previous one as well. And look at this rolling thunder. Nicely placed. The timing was perfect as well. Odin in the close range is going to strike down anyone who decides to peek it. And then you've got Wimp as well following it up. A 4-on-2 actually. Blackhawk and Paradox, the last 2 pillars left to life. And these guys can definitely try to pull something over here. Try to do at least something before going down. We'll get some sort of value in their hands as Blackhawk strikes one down. Are you taken care of? Techno as well, wanting to defend the side from these 2 players as much as possible. It is doable. The retake is pullable, but as Techno is able to strike down one, the last one will follow it up as well and gets taken care of. A big hurdle for Revenant Esports, this True Rippers A-take.
Yeah, but True Rippers, I'm actually very, very impressed that they survived the Rolling Thunder. So many of them knocked up into the air, but still are landing on their feet and connecting their shots as well. Ching could only get 1. I thought he would be set up for a nice multi-kill over there. And True Rippers leave no hurdle uncrossed. That Rolling Thunder was supposed to be a death sentence, but they not only survived that, but they thrive. 7-0. And I'm having deja vu all over again, except it's reversed. It's True Rippers with the 7-0 lead. We've seen this happen in the previous map, but I don't know, man. This just seems like one of those series that is going to be super one-sided for either side, and then split will really determine the winner. Unless Revenant can win the next 5 rounds and keep the first half competitive, or pull up their socks in the second one. True Rippers are having a gala time over here. And Revenant once again with the eco weapons are forced to make some gamble stacks. And last time they had the Omen playing towards C-Mount and the rest of the team on B. This time Blackhawk alone is on the A side while everyone else was stacking C. And now that he sees a lot of people coming towards him, he tries to escape, gets bit, but is able to narrowly make it across the doorway.
Yeah.
Now that the rest of his team is already positioning to intercept True Rippers, will they be able to stop them? There's a massive lurk coming in from Paradox, but will he be checked? Yes, he will, but he still wins the duel. That's amazing. There's some hope for Revenant now.
Indeed, but not a lot though. True Rippers, once again, they're getting the A-side control that easily in the hands. Ching missing out on a couple of bullets too. The lifeline given away to his opponents. As Blackhawk trying to wrap up from the back lines, doing anything possible. Paradox able to strike one down as well. Argue turns around and slaps him in the face as Ching gets striken down. But Revenant eventually gets that thrifty in the hand. A massive round for Revenant. And this will also boost their confidence up. This is what I was exactly about to say. The objective for True Rippers is not to trip over their own shoelaces. And once again, they try to do the same strategy that they've been doing in the past 3 rounds. And this time, they get countered easily.
Yeah, this time Revenant crunched them really fast. A good push out from the C-Mound area. Then Paradox continues to push across T-spawn. And he also is able to win his duels. A triple kill for him nets his team the round. An eco round that too, so that's quite a lot of momentum that Revenant needed. Not only do they get the round, but they also save the money, which means they will have some sort of stability going into the next round as well. But will this be the momentum ender for True Rippers? Can they continue their win streak once again, or is this all she wrote for them?
Got your trail.
Told you, man, for Revenant Esports, the main key, the main goal inside this entire map of Lotus is to get as many points or as many rounds secured on the defending side. At least they've got 1. 7-1 is the scoreline. It's not bad at all. Techno pushing up way too deep. This might just be able to maybe get some value, and he's able to do so. Instantly falls back with that kill itself. Trailblazer's going to spot out another player in the clotheslines. His right to ace gets taken down, and now True Rippers. Things are starting to calculate well now, and they're also able to swing and strike down anyone that stands against them from Revenant. Blackhawk to go, the last man alive.
It's quite funny how the only casualty on True Rippers is Kazin, and he too died because he was concussed by the Rolling Thunder, and then the aftershock got the better of him. It's a funny way to die, but hey, as long as you're getting the rounds in the bag, I think it's fine. That was quite a claustrophobic round. So chaotic as well. Both the sides used the lockdown. And True Rippers realized that they can't just plant the spike and get back to its C mound. That's not going to be enough. They've already almost lost a round because of that. So they decided to send it even deeper inside. Especially when Kazan has a showstopper and the Rolling Thunder as well was sent towards the link. True Rippers wanted to stop the retake before it even begins, but even this round is super fast. Look at the number of kills that Revenant Esports are getting. Even the camera can't catch this. 3 massive frags towards A Rubble, and True Rippers are left reeling. They try to lick their wounds by going back towards the B side and hopefully plant the spike in time. But Revenant already have the trap set.
The A side take is not going to work out anymore. Revenant knows how to exactly counter that. And this time, the default that they like to do where the 3 players push up all the way towards Rubble, it worked out, and luckily for them, True Rippers was deciding to push on the A side as well. Stars aligned for them. Revenant Esports, the chances of them winning out this round are quite massive. And slowly and steadily, they're also starting to creep and crawl their way towards the B site. The first man found Blackhawk, able to strike him down, and now Vimp is left the last one on the naughty list. And will be probably caught on the investigation soon enough. 65 HP, not a lot to back him up. The spike is on the other side as well. Next to impossible to win this round at this point. Wimp will probably try to save the weapon if possible. 30 seconds left. Wimp will need to make something happen out of nothing in this scenario. Too many players peeking him.
Yeah, that was a fighting squad waiting for him on the other side of that dark cover. And they know that given the time he's got, he doesn't even have the opportunity to go all the way around and recover the spike from somewhere else. He had to make that play. He had to dive out of the smoke. And just like that, Revenant Esports take their second. A much needed round. But why is it that Revenant find way more success on these ecos than they ever do in the buy rounds? It's a bit weird. But hey, as long as they're getting some rounds, I'm no one to complain. Instant tactical timeout taken by True Rippers. They don't want to let Revenant Esports get even a foot in the door. Get even a little bit off them. And hell, if I was True Rippers, I would probably try this I would probably do the same thing. They don't want to let Revenant Esports get any momentum over here. Now, let's consider what's worked for Revenant so far. The first round that they were able to win, it's because they played super aggressively and got the crunch onto True Rippers before they even stepped into the site. This time, a massive brawl towards A Rubble falls in the favor of Revenant Esports, as a pinstripe of trades doesn't really help out True Rippers anymore.
And if I'm not wrong, both the rounds were thrifty rounds.
Yeah, both the rounds were thrifty rounds.
Yeah, so that's impressive. That in itself proves that Revenant Esports, they're able to land their shots, but True Rippers, they're just having the advantage of hitting the side and exactly having that unknowing factor in their strat so far. That mysterious aura they're able to build around, and this is what the advantage is when you're going to have 3 sides against you. As I said, it is an attacking-sided map, and imagine if Revenant's going to get the switch in their hands. If they're even able to make the half 9-3, Revenant Esports are good.
Yeah, they will be sorted. Nice TP from Mario. Clears out the bend and realizes there's nobody over there. The only thing standing in their way are nanoswarms and probably Ching. But I don't think Ching can stop the plant over here. The spike will go down regardless. Now, the difference maker over here will be Ace and Josh. They are coming in for the crunch. And with them clearing out Mound, they will realize that all of True Rippers are in the site itself. And there's only one play that True Rippers can make, and that's an aggro towards Waterfall. Will Revenant be able to adjust?
Well, I mean, it seems like they will be able to. So far, the kills are just straight up flowing in their favor. Has one more to go, and it's Wimp once again left on the naughty list. And what? Is he going to be able to ace clutch that one? Way too close to comfort, not a lot of bullets left over, and in the end, right to ace. He gets that round for his team. But oh man, you can see the disappointment on the face of Wimp. He knew he had it in the hand. Almost got that 1v5 clutch set up.
It was either the ace for Wimp or right to ace winning. It's quite a poetry in motion over here, as both these players are on for glory. But yeah, that round wasn't supposed to go down in that fashion, you know? Revenant Esports saw that push towards Waterfall and Halls coming from a mile away. True Rippers have done this in the past. Every time they hit the C site, except for the first round, which was planted on C, True Rippers, they never really try to stay towards Mount. They always go towards either Waterfall or Halls. And Revenant knew this was coming, and hence they were able to adjust. Still, it was a bit too close.
Oh, not able to land that shot exactly in the time, and now he's got Kazin just getting the side control in the hand once again. Massive hurdle, sees site taken in the hands, and now Revenant will need to try and come up with a game plan at the last moment. Nothing left over. Flashes utilized as well. So much utility to try and stop Revenant in their track. Even one of the players going to get detained by the lockdown. And True Ripper, so far, it seems like the stars are aligned inside this round. Showstopper used as well to get rid of the man in the clotheslines, and he will be able to do so. Perfect flashes too to blind out the players that are left on the aggressive side. And Revenant, they start to get the control once again. They're able to bounce back in style, able to spring back to action. Aryu in the clotheslines with the judge. If anyone peeks in the smoke, he will be dealt with. Aryu's judge is striking down anyone that stands against him. But in the end, Paradox Shorty will be able to sweep that man under the rug as they get another round in the hand. It's an 8-4 half, ladies and gentlemen, in the first one. And Revenant, they're going to be good forever. For them, it's going to be all good in the hood.
Yeah, not a bad recovery from Revenant Esports. They fight fire with fire, they fight shotguns with shotguns. And the best part over here is that Revenant saw this over-aggression from True Rippers coming from a mile away. In both these rounds, they knew that as soon as that lockdown is invested, they will try to take control of halls and even maybe try to extend all the way in towards Waterfall. And because True Rippers have done that so many times, Revenant are able to adjust and win the last 2 rounds for themselves, stabilizes them quite well. Otherwise, this would have been a very one-sided game.
Exactly. Well, Crips, I mean, the first half is 8-4. As you said, it's not that bad for Revenant Esports, and now it's going to be on the attacking side where Revenant Esports, they shine bright like a diamond. And you guys will be able to find out what the scoreline is going to be on the second half, but after this short break.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want to get.
The all-new OMEN 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The OMEN 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20N line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly through it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Split 2 playoffs, and now we're currently inside the second half of the second game of Lotus, where Revenant Esports is now going to be on the attacking side, a team that shines bright like a diamond on the attacking side. Let's see what Revenant Esports they've got in stack for us, as it's going to be an instant B take for them, easily also able to take the site control in the hand. No struggle so far, it's a smooth sailing.
Oh, that was overextension. The flashes from True Ripper is perfect. Even the paranoia helped them out quite a lot. But now the aggression that has failed towards the bottom side will be taken up on top as Paradox tries to go all the way around the defender spawn area. Ching has to hold on. He has to buy time for his teammate who's on the flank already, but he can't. He gets overwhelmed. Paradox in position, ready to strike. The spike is also planted for him, and with that kill, he's able to farm up the paint shell once again. This will even damage Wimp up quite a lot. All these players are super low on HP. Oh, and that's what happens when everybody's bleeding internally. A bullet through the wall should be enough.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the thought process on that round. I like it. The game plan was nice from Revenant Esports, but unfortunately for them, as you said, that overextension is where everything changed. And True Rippers sort of had the round in their favor.
I can't
but
even
now,
call
as we
it,
all know, it's going to be an anti-eco.
I can't even call it an overextension, right? That was aggression by design, because it's not like they made a mistake by going in there. They all went in together, fully intending to fight. I think that was more along the lines of True Rippers countering them well with the flashes. Paranoia that RU had, he was going to use it towards B-Link initially, but then he realized, nah, it's just better off thrown towards the right-hand side. So that helped.
It's more like when they try to backpedal is where they sort of screwed up.
Yeah,
because they had their backs turned against the opponents. And that's where things sort of fell apart for them. Look at Argue. Once again, this man has the judge in the hand. Looking to put in some work against the players and also looking to put in some lead in their body.
Pump their guts full of lead. Just 8 pellets at a time. Let it rip. And if the shotgun fails, there's even the nanoswarms present over there. So this is basically a door shut in the face for Revenant Esports towards the B side. They will be forced to go elsewhere. And where can they possibly go? I mean, there's a triple stack on the A side. C seems somewhat susceptible because Wimp is the only one present over there, but he's also playing in a very aggro position, so he can see Revenant coming from a mile away. And so far, the attempts to sneak in towards the A side are kind of working, but historically, Revenants haven't been great on contact plays, unless Josh keeps getting shots like that.
I was literally about to say, even though True Rippers are on an anti-eco, they have the guns advantage, but still Revenant Esports, they're coming inside this round with the intention of winning it. And so far, it seems like they're also able to win that too. The Marshal was able to strike 2 players down. Josh doing his work phenomenally. And now True Rippers for them. The lifeline's starting to fade away inside this round. 2 more players to go. Wimp is in the clotheslines, catching a bit of hurt onto himself. RU in the close quarters will also be able to strike down Blackhawk, but it's a 4-on-2 scenario. Man advantage heavily stacking with the opponents.
Damn, dude, I must confess, Josh made me eat my words. I was about to... I wasn't even about. I literally said that historically, Revenant Esports don't really have a lot of success on these contact play rounds, but this time they make it work so beautifully. Josh with a beautiful opening. The rest of True Rippers weren't even prepared for this one. I mean, you see the positions that these guys have, and the crossfire that True Rippers have should, on paper, have worked. But what's going to happen when Paradox just jumps across? You can't stop him. And when you're too focused on Paradox, your other guy playing towards the tree side will fall. He has too much to... he has too much on his plate now, so it's not possible to defend this. And just like that, Revenant steal the momentum away.
And for the first time, it felt like Revenant Esports, they've installed some breaks in their strategy. That was quite a slow start in that previous round. But in the end, it worked out. They go from terror and fear to find that sweet victory, as now you've got Paradox once again in the clotheslines with the judge. If you decide to peek him out, yeah, he will eat you alive, and that's what exactly happens. Already starting off with 2 bodies on their board. As RU is the one towards the waterfall, he will be dealt with as well. Way too low for comfort.
Coming back.
Oh no, my god. Oh well, that's one way to deal with Paradox. Just shorty him away. Another satchel hoping to get in the faces of their opponents, but he will be shot down midair. So that's quite a nice thing from Revenant Esports. Unlike True Rippers who weren't able to maintain their pistol momentum, Revenant Esports survived the anti-eco. And just like that, we are at round 16 already. Finally, True Rippers have some weaponry. But guess what? Because Revenant didn't lose all that much, they also have weapons to boot, and they're even closer to their ultimates. Blackhawk is 1 point away from the Shadows, Josh 1 point away from the Seekers. So yeah, all these info plays will be available to Revenant shortly.
I mean, look at the amount of credits too they have. They're chilling right now. That one single eco round changed everything, the entire course of the upcoming future. And now Revenant, they have managed to take a little bit of control so far. They were quite deep towards B main, and they're also going to decide to backpedal. Don't exactly know what Revenant's game plan is over here, but So far, they've also got the Rebel control installed.
Right there.
Let's see if True Ripper is able to realize what exactly is going to be served up on their plate.
Yeah. And True Rippers are playing a very defaulty 1-2-1 setup, which is not conducive to contact plays like these, but at least the Trailblazer that Techno used gives them a little bit of information.
I've got your trail.
Can they for sure figure out that this is a commitment? Jason's ready to intercept and Techno sprays them down. Everybody gets slaughtered as they try to make their way across the rotating doors. It turns into a rotation of death. Paradox tries to save them. Jinx presses from the other side, and just like that, tree control has been reacquired. But things are already going wrong for for Revenant Esports. They can't take post-plant positions now. Oh, never mind. Unless they don't want to take post-plant positions, unless they want to pick up the fights head on, this will be a disaster. But Paradox turns away at the worst time possible.
Oh, the timing doesn't work out. He pulled out the showstopper too, man. Oh, you gotta feel bad for that one. As soon as he looks away, the opponent peeks out. And so far, True Ripper's still able to be inside that race. Revenant Esports, as I said, for them, the money's stacked up. They're good. They've got a lot of money. And you can see the watch party as well of True Rippers. Everyone's just cheering for their own teams. You love to see that. But yeah, initially it felt like for True Rippers, it's going to be a smooth sailing inside this round. It's going to be an easy defense. But then you've got Paradox just striking everyone down that stands in his path.
Yeah, he's the man you have to be on the lookout for. Leading by example is this guy, super consistent in his fragging. And he's already on the up and up when it comes to the top 5 players of this tournament. He might just steal Aziz's spot over the course of this game. Oh, and look at the aggression, just diving straight inside! No fear, no remorse, and absolutely no opponents to stop him.
Spike planted.
So far, we're seeing some incredible game of Valorant as now True Rippers. At least they've got the 4 players up. This retake is definitely possible if they're going to try to come up with a middle ground here. Wimp and Argue right next to each other. Pulling something off. Wimp gets shot down way too low. 40 HP left over. Argue is there to back him up. But look at Revenant. They're also trying to push against the opponents together. Too many players on the aggressive angle. As soon as Right to Ace takes the first contact, the other player will try to swing out, but it's not going to matter. Right to Ace himself gets both of them down. And Argue and the last player, which is Wimp, these guys are on the investigation, which will be caught soon enough.
It's so funny to see that Right to Ace is speaking by himself. I mean, Paradox was right next to him. But Paradox never peeked out. He was baiting Ace out. He was hoping that since they kill Ace, they wouldn't check that same angle, wouldn't expect a second player to be over there. But guess what? Paradox was never needed. Ace holds the ground by himself, and Revenant Esports, every time in these post-plant positions, they just hold on to the site. This time they push deeper in towards B upper. They have a 3-stack over there. And yeah, the Seekers cannot give away what the post-plant looks like, but do Revenant care? Absolutely not.
I mean, at this point, True Rippers, for them, the main goal is going to be just scoop the round you can get. Just try to scoop it. Don't try to overthink anything.
Yeah. And when you can't think too much, you might as well just pick up the Buckies and the Shorties, hoping they will do the tricks. Yeah, I mean, that also is another factor, right? At this point, in eco rounds like these, True Rippers can only rely on trickery and deceit. They can't hope to face Revenant head-on. I mean, even with weapons, they hesitate to face Revenant head-on, so forget about this one. But the AA hold has worked for True Rippers in the past, so they will try to stack it up once again. Revenant, on the other hand, fully aware of the economic situation the True Rippers are in, are also taking their sweet time. It's weird because in eco rounds it's expected. Most of these attacking teams who have the buys will play a little slowly, hoping to avoid stacks and to gather information first. But it's not just on these ecos, right? Every now and then we see Remnant slowing down, going for these contact plays, which we aren't used to seeing them do.
Well, I guess that's an easy one. One way to take a side control. B-side easily taken away, and now True Rippers, let's see if they're going to be able to scoop the round off the dirt. As Revenant Esports, they're all the way deep in the site. It's going to be a tough one to make them pull out of this one. As Argue doesn't even have a lot of HP. He does have the judge though, but someone needs to take a close range border engagement with that man. And as soon as he tries to push out, he will be dealt with by Ching. Disrupt was there to get only one, but instantly this man will be dealt with as well. Things are looking so good so far for Revenant on the attacking side. As expected, this team is shining bright like a diamond.
Probably as bright as the sun, given the amount of heat they bring to the table. Once again, Revenant Esports are just a couple points away from two massive ultimates. Meanwhile, Disrupt has had that Rolling Thunder in the pocket for quite some time, so maybe it's about time he uses it. Even Kaizen, he's not made any of those hero dives yet, so maybe this is the round. And the moment I say it, he tries to play aggro towards C Mound. Now, this could be a problem, you know? If True Rippers crunch Revenant from the back very quickly, this whole lockdown is probably not going to have any value, and Disrupt lets it go already. That's Kaizen's cue to start getting inside.
Wow.
He not only gets the kill onto Josh, but also destroys the lockdown, and all of a sudden, Revenant see the round crumbling in front of their eyes. But you know what? This is actually a good thing. They bait out two ultimates from True Rippers at the cost of just one life. I think that's still fair. I think they can still bounce back.
This is massive, but we always talked about the initial hit of Revenant Esports. And if it doesn't work out, that's where Revenant Esports sort of just starts to crumble down.
Yeah, that's
and
the
so
other side
far
of the
they
coin.
have managed to counter. So far they've managed to counter the initial hit. Let's see how the upcoming game plan's going to work out. Now Revenant Esports have been forced to think this one out. Paradox is really close to the door, and I think so. This might just be a little bit of fake setup on the A side. As soon as they're going to use the Rolling Thunder, yeah, they're going to decide to just stroll on the B site, and that's what exactly happens. Nicely done. B-side control might just be taken away, and look at Paradox once again.
Left.
This man is looking to take the fight against the opponents, but Aryu is on the other side of the smoke with the judge, and he will take care of Paradox. He takes care of business.
35. Looking dicey now as Wimp also takes off Blackhawk's head. And Revenant Esports, they find themselves in spots they're not used to defending the B side from. Oh, nice spray by Ace, but he still has a lot more to do. And he's making it competitive. Wimp is already sticking this one, so he has to peek now. And they both let go of the spike, and they deal with him quickly. That's what happens when you make Revenant Esports uncomfortable. You see, every single round that Revenant have hit B in the past, they usually defend from either the C-Link area or the B upper side. They're not used to falling back towards the spawn side. They're not used to falling back towards the rotating door area. That's not the kind of team that Revenant are. They don't like playing out of the site in these post spots. And when you push them into these uncomfortable spots, you make things a lot more easier for yourself.
I mean, I like the adjustment from Revenant Esports, but later on, as they got the site control, they were just not able to flow in with the kills. That's the main issue right there. The kills were not there. The fragging department in that previous round didn't really work out in their favor. Right to Ace in the end, though, he tried to pull things together, but the problem is that he didn't really have a lot of firepower backing him up. He was the only man left over. So far, True Rippers, they're really close to victory. They can smell it, they can sense it, but Revenant Esports too, they're looking to pull them back.
I wonder what would have happened if they didn't go for the fake Rolling Thunder and instead decided to send it all the way towards the B side instead. Revenant aren't the kind of team that goes for a lot of these fakes and contact plays, you know, so they are playing in a slightly uncharacteristic way today. But can you chalk up the defeat to that factor? I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough of a justification. Revenant now still have a little bit of money, so it's not like they're out of the game yet. But True Rippers, this judge has been a massive thorn in their side. And Aryu has been playing in very cheeky spots on the other side of these smokes. Once again, Revenant start the round in a very similar fashion. They almost always take control of this B orb first, farm it, and then they spread out elsewhere. But this time they go for the heavy commitment. Paradox diving straight inside, running into Techno, running right past the judge as well, and now Aryu has an upgraded weapon.
Good news for that man. But instantly you see that initial hit not working out, and now you can see Revenant, they're going to start it. They're going to be forced to think this one out. As lockdown's going to be initiated too, that means Revenant Esports, they're in a huge panic situation. We'll need to get rid of this entire lockdown that is being placed by the opponents, and Revenant know it's pretty much donezo for them so far.
Revenant
It's
tried to
all
push
about
it
the
in.
initial hit, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the initial hit. If we're able to counter that initial hit, Revenant Esports, the secondary hit is a little bit too shaky for them.
Yeah, you can kind of deal with it, and True Rippers have dealt with it really well. Revenant also deciding to push the envelope a little too much. They tried to break the lockdown. They tried to send it in even harder rather than falling back, hoping to not give up on the momentum that they had acquired, which wasn't much to begin with. And that's their undoing. True Rippers on map point already. Split seems inevitable unless Revenant Esports can mount a massive 4-round win streak and somehow push this game into overtime.
Let's see inside this round who's going to be able to reign supreme on the chopping block. 12-8 being the scoreline. Comeback, the margin for error is quite thin, and Disrupt this time is able to start things off on a great note. Blackhawk able to return back the favor to his opponents, but then you've got Josh's as well, just striking back. Kills happening back and forth on the board as it's a one-on-one scenario in the end. Josh going for the plant. This plan might just come through, and it does as Whip seals the deal. Lotus is won by True Rippers. We're gonna go to the decider split.
Split. It is indeed coming through, and this time True Rippers did really well in the last round. Every now and then Revenant Esports were hitting them with the contact plays, they were hitting them with the slow approaches, but the moment Revenant decide to go in for a full commitment in the last round, True Rippers dive deep inside. They make sure that they don't even let Revenant get the plot down. They begin this retake before the spike's even on the ground, and just like that, they're able to win the map. Bouncing back from a devastating loss on Bind, True Rippers have woken up again.
None of us expected that, considering the way they lost the map of Bind. We thought it should be a smooth sailing. It should be a 2-0 in the favor of Revenant, but then you've got True Rippers striking back harder than ever before on the map of Lotus. But ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple wins, I get it in.
Feeling under pressure.
Failed. So True Rippers, they had Disrupt pick up the Gecko last time on Split. I wonder if he does that again. I mean, I would be an absolute fanboy if he does it. But if he doesn't, I think it's still fine. I don't think a Gecko would work against a super regular team like Revenant. No,
you never
he
know,
doesn't
man.
take it.
Maybe, yeah, it's just going to be their comfort picks.
are you
Oh, wait,
picking
hold on. Are you? It's going to pick that Gecko. Hold on. So we're going to have a little bit more spice, ladies and gentlemen, inside the game. A double controller as well is coming in from the side of True Rippers. I'm really excited to see how this one's going to pan out for them. Considering Gecko's out over here against a team that is super aggressive, he definitely does have some sort of utilities that he can try to stop the aggressive team against. Mosh Pit, you can utilize it to, so pretty much like a Molotov. You can try to stop the opponent team in its track, but let's see how it's going to start off as we're going to kick things off with a pistol.
Yeah, my bad. I thought for some reason that Disrupt was the guy on the Gecko. My bad. It was RU last time as well. So apologies for that. But hey, I'm just happy that we get to see Gecko again. I don't really care who plays it.
Yeah.
A double controller as well on True Ripper. So they will have quite a lot of visual denial as well. This will let not just the entire team, but even the wingman sneak up. Now, Kaizen has to really step it up in terms of firepower because he's kind of the only guy over here who can clear the path for this team. Unless they expect Revenant to actually not peek anyone and respect the smokes that True Rippers have put up, which I don't think Revenant will ever do, it will be quite difficult for True Rippers to just chart a path inside. They ignore the one-way, rush right inside. The Paranoia hits them square in the face.
Oh, nicely done. Wingman taken care of yet. The spike carrying on the back, and then you've got Kaizen like a bird in the sky is able to shut down anyone that stands in his path of glory. And now it's a 2-on-4 scenario. Revenant Esports still trying to bounce back and make sure that they're spinning, or at least bringing back to action. But that swing's going to be stopped by True Rippers.
I like how they didn't send in the spike with the wingman. That would have made things a little awkward for True Rippers, but they just sent the wingman to clear out the first common angle and bait out the peak from Revenant. Plus, I also respect how Revenant made the rotations really quickly. Like, almost everybody was present on the B side as soon as True Rippers started to hit. Now, of course, the trades didn't swing in their favor, but that's a different story. If Revenant can keep rotating this quickly, I think they will have a solid chance against True Rippers, and they might be able to pull off a couple of thrifties again.
So far, as expected, an anti-eco. You can never underestimate a team like Revenant Esports, considering what they're able to pull off and what they're capable of, as we saw in the previous map. So True Rippers will need to stay as cautious as possible. All it takes for Revenant to spring back in action is those two heads with the sheriffs, and once they're found, Revenant will be back on the aggressive page once again, just feeling and trying to assert dominance.
Oh, I'm starting to get nervous. This contact peak's boiling, and now it gets sent. Fault line also at the perfect time to get the kill onto Wimp. Hazen trapped but not cornered. Keeps himself alive with the Cloudburst, isolates the fight and gets the kill onto Paradox, but that's all she wrote for him. Blackhawk won't let him escape. And now that Revenant Esports have the man advantage, they let go of the B side, but that is completely fine. They've recovered weapons. They have utility as well. Plenty of flashes to help them set inside. The only person who could save them is Techno, and he's coming in late. His luck can be a big game changer, and he's already made a difference. The rest of True Rippers also swing alongside him, and it's down to a 1v1. But will they expect Blackhawk to come in all the way from B main?
Good question.
He's got plenty of time.
He does. And also a Spectre in the hand. Good weaponry to rely on. Shots connected, but Disrupt this time will be the one to strike him down. Blackhawk didn't really have a lot of HP that he could rely on. But yeah, you can clearly see the amount of overthinking that True Rippers did in that previous round. They didn't really need to think that much. If they would have just straight up hit the site, maybe it could have worked out. And I personally think, especially when you're on an anti-eco, you don't really need to think a lot. Just go ahead and push a site. The chances of it working out are quite massive.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Well, now we will see quite a lot of resistance. Weapons upgraded for Revenant Esports, and True Rippers continuing their bonus. They do have one Vandal onto Imp. Well, this is a very fast approach. Okay, then. Good hit from True Rippers. They somehow managed to overwhelm everybody and get the wingman to dunk, which is honestly all that they wanted from this round. They do lose most of their players to Ching. His setup is amazing, and the nade from Paradox is even more beautiful.
The signature Vandals and Phantoms on the board definitely are really working out nicely for them. And so far, at least inside this round, Revenant seemed like a well-oiled team. Perfectly done, and probably now this pressure as well is going to start a subside for them.
Does he have a mouse issue? I saw him like looking down at it. I mean, regardless of whether his mouse works or not, and his aim definitely does. But I like the approach from True Rippers this time. They've been somewhat hesitant to send the wingman in with the spike, at least towards the B side. But now they make it happen really well, and this is partially because they knew that Revenant Esports will have absolutely nobody playing from the site itself. Because there's a Cypher on the team, they know that Ching loves to play from screens and from A Heaven. So they can send in the spike on the back of the wingman without worrying about too much. Nice stuff by Disrupt.
Threat being neutralized. And that was a massive one too. It needed to be neutralized there. The amount of map control that man had in his hands was incredible. Wimp as well, trying to push out towards Heaven. Gets dealt with. Revenant Esports. That was a good shutdown. Denying the entire Heaven's control. Blackhawk in an off angle, able to find out Kazan. But that's all he's going to get. The instant trades on the board. True Rippers, 3-on-3 scenario. They still haven't really got any sort of advantage in the hands. But then you've got Ching striking down the opponents one after the other. Are you dealt with a 2-on-3 scenario? Man advantage in the favor of Revenant Esports as they manage to strike one more down. And for True Rippers, oh, it seems like this round is falling apart for them. A 1-on-3 seems next to impossible.
Disjointed, discombobulated. True Rippers kind of falter, and Revenant pick up the slack. This wasn't a very powerful round by True Rippers, but I guess that's partially because they wanted to go for the defaults more and not really commit early on. Little did they know that Revenant would seriously commit to these fights, and even after Paradox was taken down quite early, they didn't expect the rest of the peaks from Revenant. Oh, well, I mean, why would they?
Right there.
They're already a man down, so doesn't make sense for Revenant to continue pushing onwards and picking up these fights with their own free will. So the aggression from Revenant really working out. Now the True Rippers are on an eco, let's see if they can convert this. I mean, Revenant find quite a lot of success on ecos every now and then. I wonder if True Rippers can pull off that thing as well.
Blade Storms, Cosmic Divide, and even Seekers available. True Rippers. They've got quite a lot of abilities that can help them get a side control established. But then you've got a team like Revenant who's not scared of anything. They're looking to take the fight against you, looking to get up close and personal. Dizzy sent in, nothing found. The detection was there, but the blind wasn't, and that's a massive issue. Good Satchel to just back off. Paradox able to steal one, just like a thief in the night, and then Blackhawk as well strikes into action.
Amazing recovery from Paradox. I thought he was a dead man over there.
Yeah.
Trailblazer hitting him, plus there's all the other util that Gecko is throwing in. I thought that was it. But Revenant maintained their calm, they maintained their composure.
Oh, Techno catches Paradox onto investigation.
Blinded.
And also able to put him in his grave.
30 seconds
He doesn't
left.
have a lot to do. Not even a lot of HP, not a lot of time as well. Techno is also trying to fight demons in his heads.
And the monsters around him on every step of the way. Quite scary, especially when they know exactly where he is. I mean, him getting hit in the face with a fault line just kind of discourages you, right? And it is such a weird round, especially when you think of it from True Ripper's perspective. They get into the vents, Revenant don't care. They don't give a damn. True Rippers pace that smoke towards the male area and they walk past, but as soon as the Gecko recovers his utility, it's kind of obvious that their position is present over there. Do Revenant care about that? No, they don't. They let Paradox speak by himself, Ace was there to cover him, and he somehow gets back. And True Rippers would have expected the fight, but not at that timing. So that's the first thing that really just caught them off guard. Plus, there isn't any Cypher util placed towards the mid-vent region, so that's another weird thing, right? Because that's partially the reason why Techno couldn't go over there. He was expecting a lot of resistance towards A-Heaven, and he thought, yeah, maybe I'll just backtrack. Maybe I'll head back towards Male. Surprise, surprise, they have been following him every step of the way. So it really does discourage you when you can't figure out what exactly does Revenant intend on doing. I mean, you know that they want to fight, but the timings at which they try to peek you, it's not something that True Rippers are fully comfortable with. And willingly giving up control of Vent, that's just absurd for any team. You could see the hesitation in True Rippers' faces, right? They expected a lot more to be over there. And they were pleasantly surprised when they got hit by Mail. So, yeah, that's something True Rippers will have to deal with.
Yeah.
Unless they completely figured out that Revenant aren't really keen on taking vent control and they then start abusing that area. Until then, True Rippers are going to have to find their way around this entire match. It's kind of like trying to take a shot in the dark.
Still, though, the scoreline's quite close, right? So I don't think so any of these teams are going to be trying to think that hard. But then you've got Blackhawk able to squeeze away frags like that, and you just wonder, True Rippers, it just seems like the fate isn't really in their side this time, inside this round. Kazan being dealt with. The big man, the big dog already out of the fragging department inside this round. Let's see if the rest of the team's able to establish something. Trailblazer, he was thinking to utilize it, and now he's trapped on that side. Mosh Pit used as well to get rid of Josh, and he will be dealt with. Cruel move from RU. Just punishing his opponent for making that mistake. But then you've got a showstopper as well, and Paradox is like, you don't kill me, I kill me.
Just don't want to give you that frag. Don't want to give you that satisfaction. That's a nice Cosmic Divide. It allows True Rippers to funnel inside, but unfortunately Blackhawk's already present over here. Now they've been forced to go towards vents, and Revenant Esports can hear this. It's not like the Cosmic Divide will cut audio by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, and they still get trapped with the wires, the cameras as well. Ching is already in position to stop the plant. And the wingman isn't even available, so they can't even let this guy plant. Aryu somehow survives that, dodges the fault line as well, which is all very impressive until you take a look at the timer. And that's when you realize the amount of pressure that's building up on True Rippers. Especially with Blackhawk coming inside, there is just no way they're able to get over every single hurdle.
Blackhawk stepping massively inside split. So far able to put up the numbers on the fragging department. But as I said, Kazan being dealt with through the smoke in mid. That in itself, right then and there, True Ripper sort of fumbled across. Things didn't work out for them in this hit. But still, valiant effort though from True Rippers, considering even though the initial hit didn't work out, they try to readjust and try to do something.
Yeah. Exactly right, but also Revenant maintaining composure. They lose Josh to that utility dump. Gravity Well plus the mosh pit. Even Paradox wasn't able to fully recover the whole round with the showstopper. But still, Revenant are unfazed, unbothered. And they're very comfortable letting True Rippers take control of A Heaven. They've guarded from the back, but right away gets hit with the dog, and that's his undoing.
Oh no!
Ching still alive on the other side of the smoke, making things very difficult. How is he able to keep so much impact present in this location? Even the flank comes in, and now they get crunched. True Rippers falling like flies. Somehow Aryu has been spotted by Blackhawk, and now the trap is set. The bait is fully in play, and Josh is just making so much noise on the zip lines. He wants Disrupt to peek him. He's like, peek me, bro. I dare you. I double dare you.
Oh, Trailblazer, that was a fake side! And then Josh deals with his opponent. Nicely done. The mind games played perfectly, and Josh with a 4K. This man makes it out alive from that chaos.
Yeah, chaos is the only way I can describe this round. Where else have you seen a player hide inside that A Heaven smoke? And survive for this long, by the way. I mean, to some extent, I felt like True Rippers were also indecisive in this region, right? Since they had no presence on mid and they knew that there's a player in vents, they kind of wanted to turn around and deal with the vents guy first, not realizing that there's going to be someone inside the smoke. So that's their first hurdle. They can't get over it. And then Revenant just doubled down on vents. The fake Trailblazer also. That is just not only 200 IQ, it's straight up ballsy.
Fake Trailblazer to pull out the peak from the opponent. Josh is so confident in his firepower. You really need to be, especially when you know what's at stake. Right to Ace is soften up a little bit. Wimp as well, just falling back from his position. Hawk sent, but was not popped, so no information conveyed just yet. And now he knows that there is someone present there. It is Wimp. Ultimate used this wall Thrash. Let's see if he's able to find someone. He was, but Kazan deals with that person before Thrash even hits him.
They don't know that Blackhawk is towards B main.
Yeah. Got no clue. Also uses the aftershock, but Blackhawk able to find one, sweep one under the rug. Right to Ace as well, able to just follow up with the momentum that's been found by his teammate. Disrupt strikes back in action. That's just a 3-on-3 scenario. Still way too close for comfort. Positions are given away, but then you've got Ching giving his team a huge man advantage.
Oh my god, they had no choice but to fight over there. They were kind of trapped. Revenant esports setting things in motion, playing a 5-dimensional chess game over here. I love how Wimp decided to just fall back as soon as he was spotted over there. Revenant pushing all the way towards A main gives them the information that True Rippers are indeed going for this B hit. And especially when the Thrash is used, they can kind of figure out that True Rippers are putting all their eggs in one basket and the basket is labeled B. So Revenant start the rotations, but they're already late, right? So True Rippers think, we have a little window, a timing window which we can exploit. We can get to the site and plant before Revenant backup arrives. So planting wouldn't be a problem, or at least that's what True Rippers assume, until Blackhawk reveals himself and lays waste to their best laid plans. That surprise element from Blackhawk makes sure the True Rippers don't have post plants. They are forced to play under Heaven, and that just makes things so much more easier for Revenant esports going into the retake. Good adjustments from True Rippers, but Revenant were a step ahead. The proactivity really helping them out.
Paradox this time, though. I mean, you can see the amount of early information Revenant's able to get in their hands. They're always just having that one player peeking out, gathering that information over and over again, and just shoulder peeking that for the confirmation. So you can at least say that they have a visual confirmation of enemy's presence at all times. This time, though, he's giving away the deep mid control. Falls back. Casey peeks out. And now the bullets are going to give his position away, too. A good flash to suppress this man in the back. Will be falling back, at least for now. True Rippers, they're trying to get the mid control in the hands. They're trying to establish it. But Paradox peeks out. Even against all the odds, this man doesn't care. He still peeks out. He stares death right to his face in the eyes. And Paradox single-handedly able to push back the wave of enemies.
Not just push them back, just bury them alive! Man's unstoppable! And that is somewhat easy to see coming because he know that True Rippers, they have a lot of weaponry. So he's like, yeah bro, come fight me. I dare you. Especially the way Ace is providing backup, it is beautiful. The fault line to help him get that first kill onto Kazin. The follow-up flashes, the aftershock to clear out the close right angle. Kind of confirms his beliefs, right? Kind of tells Paradox exactly where to position his crosshair. And Ace isn't really a character that can find information. Breach isn't supposed to find info. But the way he's using his utility, it just clears out the angles, and then Paradox doesn't have to worry about that. So he's kind of like forcing his opponents into very awkward spots. Once again, early fights by Revenant Esports. That's something they've been doing all the time. And True Rippers have been very reluctant to fight. They've found some success towards A Heaven. At least they've been able to get into this area without losing members, so they try that once again. But this time the approach is a bit different. While they're sending Kazin in by himself, the spike is still all the way back.
Careful.
They're just hoping to get this guy into an advanced position and help him set up the lurk while the rest of his team makes impact somewhere else.
Yeah. And so far, Revenant, it seems like they've just completely given away their Heaven control as well. Look at Kazin able to sneak in inside the vents area. And he's got the vents control established. And he's also going to help his teammates lure back into mid. Mid control taken away by True Rippers. That's a massive one. And you've got Ching. He's got no clue that there's a man available in vents. There's a man in the back.
Oh, never mind. Ching is able to get at least one kill. He still kills Kazin. The element of surprise is gone. And Ching is here to
30
work.
seconds left.
Oh, and one-man army, that's all I can say. Ching, even though he had no clue, he was almost caught by surprise. He still turns around and slaps his opponent in his face. And now it's all down to Disrupt. The burning torch of consistency. This time, is he going to be able to consistently deliver the frags as he doesn't even have a lot of time left over?
Yes, you know he wants it. I mean, to be fair, even if Ching died over there, even if Kazin took him down, it really wouldn't have made a difference because Ching already did his job. He killed the first encounter towards the ramp area, and that's all that he was supposed to do in the first place. The fact that he's able to kill Kazin is just a bonus. True Rippers gathered a lot of mid control. They're able to get Kazin into a very nice and deep position, which honestly could have been a massive problem, but Revenant just don't give a damn. Like I said, Revenant don't care about losing Wentz at all.
This goes here.
And this is the pattern that we've seen from round one. So, yeah, True Rippers can keep their mid control with themselves.
Get out of my way.
Revenant are unfazed, unbothered.
The problem is that the Cypher's got on the A side pretty much in lockdown. It's tough for them to breach through when the Cypher's present right in front and he's able to put up so many numbers, but now you've got Kazin just going on a mad killing spree. Two found, Paradox able to at least strike one back into his team's favor, and then you've also got Rolling Thunder to try and stop him in their tracks. For True Rippers, the initial hit is sort of worked out as they got the man advantage situated. And even only 3 players left over in the hands of Revenant. If anything's able to be established by Revenant, it should be right here, right now. There is a Paranoia available, a lot of utilities in the hands of the controller, and Blackhawk's able to shut the man down, who's able to wreak so much havoc so far. Disrupt able to follow it up with Paradox, and one more to go. 2 plays for Revenant, trying to do anything from nothing over here. Eventually, Wimp peeks out and catches that man on an investigation, as Wimp will be the standoff.
Always the clutch master.
Last round in the half.
He almost pulled off a 1v5 in Lotus. This time the 1v2 is so much more easier for him. The Viper Spit confirms the round for this team. Although I must say, I didn't even expect that the Paranoia would hit Disrupt as well. I knew that Argue was done for. Disrupt getting hit by that is just a bonus. But Wimp, there's no getting inside his poison cloud. There's no getting inside his Viper's spit.
Right
He
there.
is the master of that area and no getting over him. Finally a round in the favor of True Rippers, and they have some money going into this last round, but Kaizen's able to kill Josh, and now that's great. Op dealt with instantly.
Kaizen's able to put up numbers all the time, but sometimes his
I've got
teammates
your
aren't able to
trail.
follow it up. In the previous round, they did that perfectly. As soon as Kaizen got those 2 kills, they got the site control instantly established, and considering they also had the Viper's Pit, it sort of added on a little bit more to their take. Ching once again on the site. Cosmic Divide used as well. Right to Ace goes absolutely berserk. Paradox able to strike another one down. The flicks are perfect, and Paradox with a 3K.
He's a mercenary, dude. Mercenary with no values, only an intense desire for bloodlust and explosions. What is that? Like that flick? I would break my wrist trying to hit that shot. I'm not even kidding. What a massive win streak for Revenant Esports. Winning so many rounds in a row, and even though True Rippers recover in the penultimate round, they just simply can't get anything done. I mean, it's a double controller setup for True Rippers. The one thing that will work for them is they cut lines of sight and they get inside, but what's the point of a double controller when Revenant just simply disrespect all that utility all damn time? They peek ahead of the Cosmic Divides, they peek ahead of the smokes, they don't care about the flashes being thrown at them, so Revenant are just brawling their way to a win. And just like that, they're able to get the lead.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know what? You guys will also be able to stay ahead one step if you're able to scan that QR code, and also you guys will have a chance to enter the giveaway of the Philips One Blade. It's quite an insane product. I've used it myself. Quite a smooth trimming, that's for sure. But for now, we're gonna push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple wins, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए है, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want to get.
The all-new OMEN 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The OMEN 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20N line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple wins, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half. For the first half has ended on 9-3. Things are looking quite incredible on the side of Revenant Esport, and now they've also been pushed on the attacking side. It just seems like a date with Destiny, Crips.
It is indeed a date with Destiny, but will it end in a nice way? With the trophy going home with this team? Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. Wimp is doing a phenomenal job. They walk across the snake bite, vulnerable as hell, and even a single shot at the dome is enough to kill them. Aftershock forces them out of position, but he's ready to fight this one. His teammates are also there. Kaizen too, doing the best he can to stop the plant from going down. The mosh pit keeps them away, and it's all down to Ching. 1v2. He's cornered. Hopefully the cyber cage will detect him. Never mind. They just swing out.
That's frenzy. That's frenzy for you. In close ranges, you don't even need to stop moving. But yeah, Ching, just behalf of that one round, we can't really say a lot. So far inside this tournament, this man's been able to hold his nerves with the gun pretty well. 17 kills, is also topping the fragging department of his team. He's on the leaderboard. It's incredible.
Well, at least True Rippers start things off well. The pistol round, it goes in their favor, and True Rippers have always been quite fast on the rotates. So this time, before anyone could do anything, they were already in position, and Kaizen's a bit too fast, and he's a bit too sharp. The Sixth Sense is insane. No line of sight required. He can smell his enemy's fear.
2 on 5. Where the gun's advantage clearly in the opponent's hands. And Kaizen single-handedly has also turned the tables in his team's favor. The wind is in their sails. And Kaizen is looking to put the last man in the coffin. And that's going to be a nail.
That's a nail. Hammered in, sent through. And that's exactly what True Rippers needed. A nice double round. Picking it up and getting the bonus underway. Now this is where the acid test begins. On paper, Revenant is supposed to win this round, but if Kaizen continues to hit martial shots like these, I'm starting to feel a little nervous. What even is that third one? Like poor Blackhawk. What does he even do in that situation?
Martial in anti-ecos is a strong weapon. Really strong weapon.
And it helps that his opponents are unarmored.
Exactly, and then you've got him pulling shots like this even on the time when the opponents have the supreme weaponry, Vandals and Phantoms. Their loadout is stacked. Kaizen has also got the Blade Storm available so early inside this entire second half. If Kaizen's able to land his shots, it's going to be an incredible moment for the opponent's True Rippers. And for Revenant, they will need to try and stop the man in tracks. Look at Ching, spots out the man just behind, hiding on the site. Wimp has a huge surprise element, able to get 2 of his own, and now it's a 2-on-4 scenario. Revenant Esports, they have the supreme weaponry, but it's not going to matter, especially when Kaizen's got his hands on the Blade Storm, able to put 1 man in the grave, and also looking to put the final nail in the coffin.
Wimp's upgraded weapons now. The blades don't land, but Wimp definitely does, and now they can all just swarm over here. Hey, luckily, they only walk away with 1 upgraded weapon, so there's not too much given away except the round itself, but that's all that True Rippers required. Wimp being cheeky around those smokes. Having his Viper Wall play to their detriment. Another smoke put up by Disrupt over here just makes things so much more easy for him. Gives him all these avenues that he can disappear in and out of. That's where the Spectre thrives. Plus, Kaizen with the blades, having already farmed it up in the previous round, just makes life comfortable. Cushions the blow.
Oh, the calculation wasn't perfect. Wimp. He tossed that poison orb a little bit too early.
Still not a problem.
Yeah, no issues. Considering it can't be breakable, so that's a good thing. Wimp. Oh, Paradox. How to sneak in. Wimp's position is still left uncompromised, unchecked. That surprise element now finally, as he strikes in, is able to shut down anyone that lines up against him. Ching with the Sheriff in the hand should be able to get at least 1. Aryu is way too low for comfort, but in the end, he still comes out on top in that duel. Josh, this man has been incredible with the Marshal, but Kaizen will strike him down.
Kaizen's on a speed run over here, just farming up Valorant economy as quickly as possible. Marshall in the second round, Bladestorm in the third, and now an AWP in the fourth. It's almost like he's playing arms race. Or escalation, rather, just upgrading every single time. Plus, the Spectre that True Ripper had, it still continues to give them results. So, what even is the need of an upgrade over there? 9 to 7 already, and I guess the curse has been activated. Now, what do Remnant Esports do? They kind of ignored the mid area in the first half, and that worked out for them well enough, but they can't hope to take control of the A side without that mid now. Especially when there's a controller available on either side for True Rippers. It really just slows them down, you know?
Yeah,
and sure, Revenant. Yeah, I mean, sure, Revenant were disrespecting the smokes in the first half, but they can't hope to pull that same thing off in the second half.
And True Rippers are back in action. 9 to 7. The scoreline's starting to close up. And sort of it seems like the momentum that Revenant Esports were able to build in the first half has also disappeared. So that's a good news for True Rippers. And they're probably going to try to keep the pedal to the metal. On the defending side so far, things have been quite flawless for them. As Kazan has also got his hands on the operator, this man is going to try to hold off some aggressive angles. So Revenant Esports will need to watch out from those.
We will reveal their secrets.
Yep.
Wimp can probably use a Viper Spit right away, but I guess he will refrain. Okay, no, he won't. He will use it on mid. So that's mid area lockdown. Oh, but Paradox feeling brave. Pushing all the way inside. While Wimp's got mid on lockdown, there's an AWP on A. So these two areas are done and dusted, but Paradox is so ballsy. He just walks inside to kill Wimp.
Wimp did not expect anyone to be that psychotic and just straight up push inside his Viper's pit like that. Kills happening back and forth, but in the favor of True Rippers. Oh, scratch that. Not even that anymore. It's still quite equal. The spikes drop down as well inside Heaven, and True Rippers, they're denying to give away the spike control just like that. Kazan from the back line's trying to close up, close and personal. No. And he will be dealt with as well.
Oh my god.
You blink it and you miss it out of nowhere. They strike back once again.
3 kills in 1 second. Now that's what Revenant Esports are made of. What on earth was that adjustment from Revenant? Like, downright psychotic. You used that word perfectly. If there's anyone who's brave enough to walk into a Viper's pit all by himself, it's Paradox. Nobody else, literally nobody else will be brave enough to do that. Ballsy enough. He just walks in, he hugs the other side, gets into his vent side, and as soon as Wimp is dead, True Rippers still respond well, you know? The rotations towards the B Heaven tree were quick enough.
Oh my god.
But this time Kazan's quicker.
I told you, this man's gonna try to hold off some aggressive angles, and that's what he does once again. It should not be too gritty. As I said, the main objective over here is to not trip off of your own shoelaces. Wimp shuts down Josh's. A good pick from that man as he catches him on the investigation. And you've still got Ching just pushed up so deep inside the A side. He's got so much control established so far. Now he's just waiting for his team to flow in, and you can see Right to Ace is just coming in with the spike, slowly and steadily walking his way through. Trailblazer was initiated, was utilized. And Right to Ace makes sure that he's not getting spotted by that Trailblazer. Chink, he's got the site control locked down. And for Revenant, Blackhawk is probably going to teleport on the side, and that's what happens.
But the spike is still yet to make its way across. Now, luckily there's nobody available on screen, so Right to Ace can walk past. But do they know that there's a person coming in from behind? Techno kills Blackhawk, and that just makes things worse. Now there's no elevation available now. Wimp can use the snake bites to even make things harder. Concussion doesn't hit them, but Ching does. Kazan strikes immediately back. It's all down to Ace. Left in a 1v3, and he won't have anything to say.
They had him in the deadlock. They let the side control flow by. That was nicely played by True Rippers. Patience playing off perfectly. They were like, it's okay if they got the side control. At least we'll have the security. At least we'll know that every single player from that team is on the site, so we can keep them in the deadlock.
And that's a deadlock you don't want to mess with. Once you get in, you can't get out. And unlike MMA, there's no tap out available over here, so you will lose your neck. Oh, but this time it looks like Revenant want to have a very fast hit towards the A site. Kazan's gonna be the deterrent. Paradox already makes his way across. Tiny gap in the toxin screen, which Kazan can still use, but they're using the cyber case to cover the distance now. This is great, but they don't know the techno's across the other side. They don't need to know. And all of a sudden, Kazan's very potent. What? My goodness! This is deja vu all over again. We've seen this guy with the shorty and AWP combination defend the A site against hordes of people, and he does it yet again.
That was just some heroic presence being showcased by that man. But once again, it was an eco round from the opponents. And Revenant Esports, sort of the game plan for them was that just straight up W key on the A site. Ching was able to find a good opening at the start, I'm not gonna lie. It felt like they should be able to spring back into life inside this round, but then Kazan was able to hit some nutty shots with the operator. That no-scope especially, it just sort of digged every single team's or every single player's graves in the opponent.
Uh-oh. He still peeks out? Okay, that's just brave.
And then Paradox able to return back to favor this time, though. As Wimp's gonna bite the dust early off inside this round. Good Trailblazer too. Definitely got a lot of information. Rolling Thunder utilized as well. Anyone on the site's gonna be stunned at least for a couple of seconds. Disrupt able to come back to his senses and shut down the man in the front. Josh trying his best to fight back against the entire firing force of True Rippers and Techno. Strikes 3 down. A good spray transport from that range. It seems inhuman, but this man makes it happen. Ching now, the only man left over. Position compromise. Techno, on the other hand, with only 35 HP, not a lot to work with. And considering his opponent has a huge striking advantage, also a high ground advantage he can rely on. Techno, he's got way too many angles to deal with. And Ching now slowly and steadily creeping and crawling his way up. And the Vandal is going to put the final nail in the coffin.
My god, I feel so bad for Techno. That man pulled off something that's humanely impossible. Very few spray transfers work as well as that one does. And he almost brought the whole round back. I mean, Revenant Esports were getting all the frags, but then look at this. That stuff is made out of dream material, dude. That's the kind of stuff that you see in these streamer highlights, not in professional tournaments. But despite all his hard work, despite all his efforts, Ching steals it back. Takes the hat off to make sure that there's no brain games being played by Techno, and then he takes his head off too. Good stabilization from Revenant Esports.
Oh man. In the race in which these two teams are trying to fight back, are trying to fight for the supremacy, it's getting way too close for comfort. And now every single player is going to also start to feel the nerves, especially from the side of True Rippers, as Revenant, once again, it seems like they're back inside the momentum. They're back in the flow. The wind is in their sails.
Can True Rippers somehow steal that wind away from them? Or maybe punch a hole in the sails of Revenant Esports, sink their ship like the Titanic. That's enough naval references from me today. Speaking of references, there's only Ching with a gun over here, so yep, Revenant Esports can win the round, but they can't save their money. And True Rippers have a chance of getting back. They have a chance of getting double digits. Now, unless Revenant can pull off the thrifties that they were pulling off in Lotus, I think True Rippers should be able to hold their own over here.
Revenant this time. Not being too over-aggressive.
Scout destroyed.
Instead, respecting their opponents. Letting the game speak for itself. Ching is the only man with a better weaponry inside this round. He's got the Vandal in his hands. And looking to put up some numbers. RU will be forced back because of the entire presence that's been currently showed by the opponents. Dizzy was used, but nothing found. No tags yet. And finally, Ari is able to strike one down with the help of Kazin. And Disrupt, he's got opponents right onto his face. But Ching, he strikes back in action. What a shot! Kazin sent back. And now you've got Ching with only 1 HP and a dream. 12 bullets in the magazine. Impossible to pull off.
But he has all the info he needs. The tripwire getting triggered tells him where Techno is, and he already knew where Wimp was. So he's got the info, he's got the time. The HP lacking. But maybe he can bait out a fight. The head glitch angle available on True Rippers is enough. He only needs one shot. And nobody's peeking him. True Rippers just simply not giving him the satisfaction. They're comfortable letting him go for the plant. They know he's cornered over here. And yet again, they don't budge. Pressure's mounting. Time ticking down. The clock and the world is now against Ching.
Planted the spike.
The spike planted does alleviate some pressure off of his shoulders, but very soon he's likely to not have a head on top of his shoulders.
Yeah. Oh no.
How does he survive that?
And oh, this time it's just gonna straight up connect the heads. It was still close. Techno, he whiffed a couple of initial bullets. I thought this might just be it. But Ching, you can never, even though this man, it was on a huge HP disadvantage, you still managed to take that one player down. You can never doubt his skills.
You can never, absolutely never. He's been weaving a web of lies and deception, just so good in these clutch situations. And given the weaponry that Revenant started with, this round was never supposed to come so close. There were Ops, Vandals, Phantoms against them, and Revenant had only one gun in the hand of Ching, and boy, oh boy, he did a single ounce of value out of that weapon.
Look at the KD he has, 26-12 as a Cypher player.
Nuts.
It's nuts is an understatement for that type of KD.
I know. I wanted to use a more, let's just say, an inappropriate word. That's all I could come up with.
Poison's off.
But yeah, just by looking at that score in itself, it should demoralize you if you're his opponents. But at least Kaizen's able to get rid of that threat early off inside this round. Threat being neutralized, and now they should give a lot of hopes to True Rippers.
Okay. It's kind of funny how Ace is just sending all his flashes in, hoping to sell the fake, but they're not actually committing bodies to this one, so True Rippers are not gonna fall for this. You will need to be much better salesman if you want to bait out rotations from True Rippers. And Wimp is always able to get into these positions really quickly. He can always call for the preemptive rotates. Techno blinded. He needs backup, but Wimp is here to help him out. The poison helps him get a double. And even the Cosmic Divide just makes it nearly impossible for Revenant to get into the side itself.
30 seconds
Impossible
left.
to clear out these crossfires. Techno and Blackhawk are just standing on the other side of this wall with each other, just literally shoulder to shoulder.
Oh my god. They're looking to swing it. It's going to be a perfect contact swing, and yeah, the trades did happen back and forth, and now it's a 1-on-2. Josh, he got both the kills on the site, managed to clear it single-handedly. We'll also get the spike plant down all the time. Every single situation Revenant's been in, it's always been a high-pressure situation or a clutch situation. And now Josh, he gets another one down. Takes his grave, Kaizen put down to sleep. And now Josh all by himself with only 33 HP and a dream. And Disrupt shuts him down in the back. A dagger to his back.
Stabbed right in the spine. That was a nail-biting moment. We've seen Revenant Esports get into these 1v2 clutches a bit too often. It was Ching in the previous round. Now it's him. And the Seekers being committed kind of tells him where his opponents are coming from. It's just a small timing window with which Disrupt was able to get to the other side of screens. Other side of that little block in the middle of the side, and that's all that stands in between him and the equalizer. True Rippers have so much available now. Not only the weapons, but also 4 big ultimates. They've already equalized the scoreline, and this comeback seems inevitable.
Yeah. 11-11, the scoreline's matched up and tied up. We might just be going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We thought Revenant might be a little bit more powerful force on the attacking side, but then you can't deny the fact that this map is quite unpredictable sometimes. And Revenant Esports. Yeah, go ahead.
And the True Rippers are also damn strong on this one.
Yeah. It is their strong suit. You can't deny that as well. Catches a man away, and Wimp is able to line up 3. Nicely done. Gets the 4th one as well. And Techno to clean it off.
It's so frustrating to witness this again and again. Wimp is able to get so many multi-kills like this. And all of this is because True Rippers just don't respect his poison. It makes you so vulnerable, it makes you so susceptible to damage. And Wimp is able to kill so many people like this. Like, I think this is like his 3rd or 4th spray down in this map itself. And on so many occasions, he's gotten these multi-kills that turn the tide. Man, he's just farming himself a nice little frag movie over here, a highlight reel. And they're so close to victory. Map point available. Are you sending the trash all the way inside? Doesn't see a single soul.
No.
So now they know that Kaizen has a lot of work to do over here.
Kaizen also got a lot of solid information that they can rely on. Unfortunately, the pull was there from the Astra, which it was not really able to straight up just glide inside the site with the satchels, but at least they've still got the site control established. But True Rippers, they're trying to fight back, fire to fire. The resistance is there, and once again, right to Ace, the last glimmer of hope alive with only 21 HP. Everything relies on this man. But as I said, not a lot of HP left over, 21 only. 1 bullet should seal the deal on to Right to Ace. But on the other hand, Right to Ace as well knows he's got 2 enemies to deal with. But this time he will shine back even stronger as he shuts down Kaizen. Looking to take the last one, and Argue takes the contact. But this time he stands strong.
What a reverse sweep. True Ripper bouncing back from the depths of hell all the way to the top of heaven. From a devastating loss in Bind to a valiant comeback in Lotus, and then an even stronger comeback on Split. True Rippers blaze a path to victory. A path that Revenant Esports cannot follow. They can't even step on it. Every single player stepping up.
Man. As you said perfectly, reverse sweep. None of us expected this outcome after the first map. And then you see Revenant getting taken out slowly and steadily, choked to their deaths. But they definitely tried their best. As you said, for True Rippers, Split has been a solid map, and once again they proved that.
They not only prove that, they just make a massive, loud statement.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody will be brave enough to challenge them on Split now. All the other teams in the future must add it to their ban list. Let's see what was going on in their minds as we have the interview for True Rippers.
उसके बाद जो वापसी की है टीआर ने, man, unbelievable. I think इससे better tone setting नहीं हो सकती है. Okay, can we have Aryu please? Aryu, come here. True Rippers के कप्तान. Woo! How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great.
Listen, let's just start with the first question that's on everyone's mind. What happened in match 1?
Match 1, I think we were just getting the rhythm because we haven't played them yet, so we don't have a slight idea like on how they play on us. So it's a warm-up for us.
Okay, you're the team captain, are you? I just want to know, after the first match ended and you guys were annihilated in that first matchup, what did you say to your teammates and were you angry?
I'm not angry because it's a team, it's a team problem. It's not just one guy who's doing this. It's all the mistakes. So I told them on the second map, guys, forget the mistakes that we did on map 1, focus on map 2. This is our map pick and we're gonna prove that we're the best here on map 2.
Listen, this wasn't easy because when you talk of Split, this became tougher and tougher. After the first match, you guys managed to make a comeback and the curse of 9-3, it did come back to haunt Revenant, right? What were you talking to your team about?
Oh, when we, on the second half, we came in here, we're like, bro, we've done this already. Map 3, 3-9. I guess you can see the examples. VLT, God's Reign, 3-9. We were down 3-9, map 3. Let's do the same shit. Focus on pistol, focus on winning 1-by-1 rounds, then here we go.
Listen, I could see the energy your team had right when those final crunch moments came in. At any given point of time, when Revenant was leading, did you guys feel we could let it slip?
No, to be honest, because what I can feel from the team is the team synergy. We didn't give up, 3-9, we don't care. If we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. That's the goal, nothing else.
Was there a different sort of strategy that you employed in the last matchup?
It's more of the reads in game. Nothing much, nothing more complicated. Just good reads, good plays from my teammates, and they just carried the hell out of me.
How does it feel getting into the semi-final knowing that this was a very, very tight finish?
This is kind of scary right now since we were only this close on map 3. So we have to get ready on our semi-finals against OG.
Listen, you guys have turned in a stupendous, a stellar performance. I know he's probably trying to get his heartbeat right, but what a crazy performance from the True Rippers, right? Gentlemen, they have won. They have managed to win this quarterfinal in the split to payoffs. We are going to take a break and we're going to return very shortly.
What an interesting outcome, man. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, considering now that True Rippers have won against their opponents, they're gonna be facing in the upper bracket semifinals against OG. That is something. Now, that is a matchup to look out for. And also for True Rippers, that is a matchup you can sweat over. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in. keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we